What's up, Facebook world? So, Facebook's going to be finding me some friends. Hopefully, everyone had a wonderful weekend. It's been a great weekend for me. Courtney and I had our first Christmas of the year, so nothing but blessings there. It was awesome. Unfortunately, the Chiefs did lose today, but that's all right. We're still in playoff contentions, and that's all that matters. From a fantasy standpoint, I think I'm going to win tonight, which puts me in hopefully a competition for first place next week. Pretty exciting. So, anyways, that's my weekend. Hopefully, all of your weekends went well. Tonight, decided I haven't done a Q&A in a long, long time. So, as many of you know, my name is Michael Weaver. Please feel free to share the Facebook live feed, like it, give me some hearts, whatever you want to do. I appreciate all of you tuning in. Appreciate your support. Tonight, I'm going to appreciate the questions. So, I have been a State Farm agent been with State Farm for 6 years. Owned my own business for almost 3 full years now. One of the leaders in the company, in the industry when it comes to investments and life insurance. Have a retirement income certified professionals designation from the American College. Have a bachelor's from Baker University in business management. So I just say that to help with some of my credentials. Tonight is purely for you guys, though. Next week, with it being Christmas next Sunday, Sunday Smarts will be canceled since I'll be spending time with family and friends. I haven't done a Q&A in a while, so shoot the questions away. It can be over some topics that we've covered since I did my last Q&A, vehicle refinances, mortgages, we've talked about. I don't know. We've talked about a lot of stuff. So you can ask me anything from saving money to investing money, what an IRA is, maybe what I recommend for emergency funds. We've talked about interviewing. So interviewing people, actually, that's one thing I just did with the Pleasant Hill High School. Ask me anything you guys want. Mortgages, vehicle loans, stock market, you got it. So let's go. Jeremy, what happens if you switch insurance policies and get into a wreck before you've paid your first payment? It's a great question, Jeremy. So as long as the agent bound your policies, you'll have coverage. So agents have binding authority. They bind your policies on the day they tell you they're effective. So you're all good. Did you get into an accident, Jeremy? I know you just switched. If you did, hopefully you're all right. Is it a good idea to max out your IRA before the end of the year? That's a fabulous question. It's a great question, Mom. So you have a couple options here. It is a wonderful idea to max out your IRA. I recommend anyone that contributes to IRAs, especially Roth IRAs, to max those out every year if you can. The cool thing with IRAs is you actually have until April 15th, so the tax deadline of the following year, to contribute towards your prior year's contribution. So, for example, you could wait and contribute or max out your IRA all the way up until April 15th of 2017, and that could be for 2016's contribution year. Great question. And just so everyone knows, maxing out your IRAs, to max out an IRA is $5,500 a year. Once you're above the age of 50, you can actually contribute $6,500 a year. So, great question. Bill, I have a new metal roof. Should I send pictures of the roof to my favorite insurance agent? Bill, you can definitely you can shoot me an email or you can send those to me. Absolutely. You don't have to, though. I'll take your word on the new roof. I trust you. I trust all my customers. All right. what are some other questions we got here? These have been some good ones so far. Again, feel free to ask me anything. So we're talking investing, we're talking saving money, we're talking emergency funds, we're talking life insurance, we're talking interview, maybe what's good at interview, or how should I interview prep, home insurance questions, auto insurance questions, mortgage refinances, or maybe new mortgages, vehicle refinances, vehicle refinance is actually something I've been doing a lot of this month, because a lot of people have been wanting to skip payments because December is an expensive month because of Christmas. So a lot of people have actually been refinancing their vehicles either to try to skip December's payment or to skip January's payment, since because right now, if you were to refinance your vehicle, your first payment wouldn't be due till February. So I've actually been helping a lot of folks out with refinancing cars for lower interest rates. So helping them save money. I just helped a customer save over $4,000 on his the entire term of his loan, because we cut his interest rate down by like 3%. So over the term of the loan, it was like a $4,000 savings. It was pretty awesome. Courtney, replacement cost versus ACV. Great question. So she's talking about homeowners policies. So homeowners insurance is there's a lot of different types of policies out in the market today. Replacement cost means that a company is going to replace your home, your roof, your contents inside for what they cost brand new today to rebuy, rebuild, repair. Whereas ACV, what that stands for actual cash value. Actual cash value means that the insurance company is going to give you a depreciated amount on the structure of your house, your roof, your contents. If I have one recommendation, you want your entire homeowner's insurance product to be a 100% replacement cost policy. That's the structure, the roof, and the contents. A lot of companies have actual cash value policies on the roofs, which ends up making it a lot of money out of pocket for the insured. My philosophy on that is if you're going to have insurance, you might as well have good insurance. Can you refinance with me? Absolutely, Jeremy. I'd love to help you out with that, my man. Herb, how soon can I refinance? How soon can you refinance? Is it a car loan? Is it a mortgage? On both of those things, though, you can refinance as soon as you want, as long as it makes financial sense. Is what I would. On cars, I refinance customers a week after they've got the loan, because a lot of times dealerships will give them a rebate at the dealership, but their interest rate's a little bit higher than what I can offer. So then I refinance them after they've already bought the car. It's a 10-minute process, super easy. Cut their interest rate down and give them free gap insurance. Not to mention State Farm also contributes to all three credit bureaus as well, which helps people's credit establish with all three reporting agencies. That'd be another great question too, if anyone has a question on maybe how to accumulate or better their credit, or some easy tips. Good questions so far, guys. Anything else? And guys, feel free to shoot me a share, a like, a heart if you think I deserve it. I appreciate all of your guys' tuning in, your questions. I love doing Sunday Smarts. This is one of the best things that me and Courtney look forward to doing these every Sunday and Wednesday. Wednesdays for us just to get to know you a little bit, for you to get to know us. And Sunday, the whole reason I came up with Sunday Smarts is for me to try and share some of what I've learned in the insurance and financial services world, some of my college classes, things of that nature with you all, just to help, because I think the things I know, the everyday person should probably know, but even though you don't work in the profession, people should know these things. So that's why I do this stuff. So feel free to answer or ask anything. I do this purely from an educational standpoint. And I definitely don't know all the answers. So if you ask me something I don't know, I'm going to tell you I don't know. All right. Your homeowner's policy yearly. If you need help, I'm sure Michael would take. Policies have been written. Absolutely, that's a great tip, Cindy. That is a wonderful tip. So, Cindy and her husband actually own a roofing company. So they see a lot of policies. They probably run into actual cash value policies a lot with insurance companies and insureds, which ended up making the insured out of pocket a lot. And insurance companies do just change policies, which is kind of questionable, but that's definitely one thing that you want to be reviewing with your company or agent. And she's absolutely right. Even if you're not insured with me, if you have questions, give me a call, email me your deck pages. I'll look at them for you. No problems, no questions asked. What are you... Darren, is Santa going to be visiting your house this year? I mean, some of the stuff I see on Facebook, I don't know. It's I don't know if you'll be on the good list or the naughty list. But swing by the office. I'm sure I can get you something, Darren. Nick, honestly, that's a great question. So, it's I mean, everyone has their own opinion on what a high interest rate is, but on UTVs, ATVs, things of that nature, a lot of companies like State Farm, our rates are very competitive within. I mean, our rates are really good on those things as long as the things you want to look for. So UTVs, ATVs, just like a car, a home, anything, you got to make sure the loan to value is right on it. Your debt to income needs to be good, and your credit needs to be good. If all three of those things line up, your interest rate shouldn't be bad at all. So if you have questions about something like that, or you want to look at interest rates, just let me know and we can get together and do it all over the phone or whatever. Yeah, Darren, I'm afraid Cole might show up underneath my tree too. So I feel you there. Any more questions? These have been good so far, guys. So, any questions about anything? I've got to brag on the Pleasant Hill High School. Courtney and I were invited to do interviews with high school seniors, and it was an amazing experience. It's one of the best community experiences I've had since I've been here in Pleasant Hill. It's always fun talking with seniors when they're excited about going to college and excited about what their future is going to be like. So I was actually going to offer this to not only the high school seniors, but anyone. Anytime, if anyone ever is considering like going out and looking for a new job or wants interview tips or wants to even do like a mock interview, give me a call. I'd love to do a mock interview with you at my office or whatever. Give you any tips that I usually look for, what I look for as an employer, what questions I ask, just basic interview tips that may be able to put you ahead of the competition. So it was a lot of fun doing it with the Pleasant Hill High School. That's good, Cindy. All right, guys. Any other questions? Like I said, feel free to ask about anything. Investing, saving money, emergency funds, how to establish credit. Are credit cards good? Banking products, so whatever. Mortgages, vehicle loans. Life insurance, homeowners insurance questions. Let's get them on and talk to Sam. That's a great idea, Cindy. Oh shoot. Um, any other questions, guys? Tonight was tonight's purely question and answer, purely Q&A. I have nothing on the agenda at all. So any questions that you have, please shoot them away. I paid off 4 loans to Bank of Odessa before they started reporting credit bureau. I don't have bad credit, but I don't have good credit. Also, just kind of stuck in the middle. Yeah, I hear you, Nick. That would be something that definitely shoot me an instant message, Nick. We can definitely talk. A lot of people fall into that same category, especially people that live in small towns like Pleasant Hill, like Odessa, like Oak Grove. They bank at small town banks that don't report to credit reporting agencies. That's one huge benefit with State Farm. We actually report to all 3 credit reporting agencies, which a lot of people I don't think quite understand why that's so important. So why reporting to all 3 credit reporting agencies is so good is because, especially when you go to buy a house, what banks do is they pull your credit from all 3 reporting agencies. They take your best and your worst, and they X those out, and they take your middle credit score, and that's what depicts everything. Your interest rate, if you can even qualify for a mortgage, things like that. And honestly, that's probably what banks will start to do on a majority of loans in the future. Credit is such a big deal in today's world. So definitely, the more you can bank somewhere that reports at all 3 credit reporting agencies, the better it is for your credit history, because it helps. So when people get loans through State Farm Bank, it allows them to build their credit with all 3 reporting agencies, which helps accumulate and build their average, which is a huge deal. Huge deal. It would all depend, Joyce. Let's schedule a time for you to come in. So that's a great question, though, Joyce. I get questions like that all the time, to be honest with you. And if you're looking for guarantees, there's going to be certain products that work for you. And if you don't mind not having guarantees, obviously there's going to be the stock market that you can invest in. So there's a little bit of everything. Just every person's situation is a little different, and that's why it's good to just talk. But there's great products for both. It just depends on kind of what everyone's goal for the money is, how long they want it to be invested, if they need it to be liquid money. So what I mean by liquid is accessible to them in case of like an emergency, things of that nature. Great question, though. All right, any other questions about anything? Anything at all? And please feel free to share this feed. Give me a like, give me a heart, whatever you think I deserve. 3 hearts, thank you. And of course, if you're watching this after the live feed's over, feel free to ask any questions, and this stays on my Facebook feed, so I will always comment back. I can reassure you that if you comment, I will definitely comment back. So any questions at all, remember, you can ask questions about anything. I know I've repeated that a lot, but whatever it may be, how to establish credit, auto insurance questions, homeowners insurance questions, saving, emergency funds, investing, what an IRA is, what a mutual fund is, life insurance, what maybe term insurance is, what permanent insurance is, mortgage loans, so mortgages, doing mortgage refis to either consolidate debt or maybe getting cash out to improve the home's condition, auto insurance loan or auto loans, And if you guys don't have any questions, that's cool too, and we can wrap this bad boy up tonight. It's whatever works for you guys. Everyone have a good weekend, hopefully. We've had really good questions so far, so I'm glad we did the Q&A tonight. This was good. The most unbelievable claim that I've had. It's a great question, John. I've had a couple. I've had some that are just like clearly like. Let's just go with the one that caused the most damage. So, I had a customer that they let a family member drive a vehicle, and we're in a bad accident, a terrible accident, and luckily their medical bills. So in the state of Missouri, if you didn't know this, if you're in an auto accident and your auto insurance, like the auto limits that you have on your car, pay out, you're then held responsible for any damages above that amount. Well, this individual's family member ended up hitting an older individual, and the medical bill ended up being $850,000. So, luckily the customer had what was called a personal liability umbrellas policy, and a personal liability umbrellas policy is basically $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, whatever the umbrella is. It's $1 million on top of what they had. So luckily State Farm covered it, but an $850,000 bill is the biggest claim I've had in my agency, which that's a pretty big claim. Speaking of personal liability umbrella policies, I would encourage every single one of you to have one. They're a great way to protect yourself from a liability standpoint for a very inexpensive amount. So you can get $1 million in liability protection for typically less than $200 a year. It's just a great way to protect yourself. I highly, highly, highly recommend it. From a short-term investment, Joyce, again, it depends on what your goals are for the money. Just shoot me a call this week, or I'll call you, and we can talk more over the phone in detail about it for sure. Let's see. I have a 56 F100 behind my garage. Car insurance was wanting me to remove it from the property. No. I don't care what kind of vehicles you have on your property, Nick. For real. If you want a quote, I would love the opportunity to give you a quote and help you out. But yeah, John, so that was a crazy claim. I mean, $850,000 for an auto insurance accident. A lot of people think that'll never happen to me, but that's why they're called accidents. So again, that policy was called a personal liability umbrellas policy. I highly encourage every single person to have it. I talk to all of my customers about it. So even if you don't currently have one, I know that we've talked about it. If you ever change your mind and you want something like that, give me a call. I do encourage you to have one. That was kind of like so the example I just gave you, John. We have a saying in my office: "I wish versus I'm glad." So that was an example where the customer literally came into the office, hugged me crying, and was like, "Hey, Michael, I'm so glad that you talked me into getting that policy." We have some customers that come into the office and say, "Man, I really wish that I would have had that policy." So I'm always trying to educate customers to where when something bad happens, they're saying, "Michael, I'm so glad you told me about this," instead of saying, "Michael, I really wish you would have told me about this." That's just a little motto or saying we have in our office. And so if we ever mention something to, if you're a customer, if we ever mention something to you multiple times, it's because of that reason right there. We want you to be glad that we talked to you about that instead of wishing that we would have talked to you about it. All right. Any other questions, guys? Any other questions? Sunday Night Football will be coming on in about 10 minutes, so I will be wrapping this up shortly. But if you have questions, I'd love to answer them. I don't have anything else going on tonight. Again, feel free to ask questions about anything. Doesn't matter. And if I don't know the answer, I'll tell you. And please, if you have time, please share my live feed if you think I deserve it. Shoot me a like, shoot me a heart. If you're watching this after the live feed's over, please feel free to still comment with questions, because I will definitely comment back and have a conversation with you even after the live feed's over. So, all right. Well, if there are no more questions, I will wrap this bad boy up. John, that's another great question. I do think earthquake coverage is a great coverage to have because it's such an inexpensive coverage to have. So in our area, most homeowners policies, you're going to be able to buy earthquake coverage for anywhere between $50 and $100 a year. So you're literally talking at most $8, $9 a month. So I do recommend it. I mean, I guess the likelihood that we're going to have an earthquake that actually damages the foundation or house is very unlikely. However, if that does happen and you don't have earthquake coverage, my mindset is, does it make sense to protect one of my biggest assets for $100 a year? In my opinion, in my personal policy, yes, it makes total sense to protect one of my biggest assets for $100 a year. Now, a lot of people say, "Well, Michael, I think that's a waste of money." That's totally fine too, and they don't have it on their policy. But I highly recommend considering, really considering having some type of earthquake coverage on your earthquake endorsement coverage on your policy, especially with all the earthquake activity we have going on in Oklahoma right now and Kansas. Any other questions? Any questions at all? All right, guys. Well, thank you for everyone that did ask questions. Thank you for everyone that took a little bit of time to watch. I appreciate you all. Hopefully you had a wonderful weekend. Hopefully you have a great Sunday evening and an even better week. Please check us out Wednesday for Weaver Wednesday at 7 o'clock. And again, Sunday Smarts next Sunday will be canceled due to Christmas, and hopefully all of you will be enjoying time with your family, friends, and close ones during that time. So thank you guys again. Again, if you have any questions, even after the live feed's over, please comment. I will definitely comment back. Thank you guys. Have a wonderful evening and a great week.